Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is SB, and today I'm going to be bringing you a kind of a video tutorial on how I line this crochet bag. This was a bag that I was going to put in my Etsy shop, but, well, I did put it in my Etsy shop, but I put it as is. I did not add anything special to it. It was just a crochet bag with no lining. Like I said, nothing special. Anyways, I had tried to line it before, but I got so discouraged, I didn't do it. And I think I just made it overly complicated. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna show you the old lining that I had in there. Like I said, I just made it overly complicated, and I got discouraged and I never finished it. It just sat there in my closet unfinished and waiting for me to do something with it. So here's the lining that I had originally tried to put in the bag. Like I said, I made it overly complicated. I tried to make it exactly the way I made the bag, like a bucket bag, and I got discouraged and I never finished it. I mean, I had it halfway on, but yeah, I didn't finish it. But here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the tutorial, and I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so this is the fabric that I'm gonna be using to line my purse. I have a lot of this fabric left over from reupholstering a chair that I got at Goodwill. That I didn't record it or anything, so there's not going to be a video on it. But yeah, this is what I'm going to be using. I think it's going to look nice against the gray. Yeah. So I'm just going to get the fabric ready. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is creating a pattern from the bag. All I do is I find the grain and I try to get it as straight as I can, and I fold it in half, and then I place the bag on top of it and I trace around it. You'll see here in a minute how I do that and how I go about making everything as straight as I can. I wanted to really get it right and make sure everything was symmetrical. So yeah, that's basically all I'm doing right here. Enjoy. gonna do is I'm gonna fold all the edges, or the top edge rather, to make it look neat. And I'm just gonna pin that in place. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the edges as well, just so I can get an idea of how it's gonna fit into the bag. This just helps whenever you're sewing. If you need to take off a little bit, this is the time, because it's going to be like a dry run basically. Okay, for the pocket, I'm gonna measure where I want my pocket to sit. So I just place my bag just like this. And then I'm gonna place the lining right on top of that, just so I can get an idea of where I want my pocket to sit. And I'm just gonna kind of get an idea. I think it's a 90 centimeters. I can't remember, but I do measure 7 inches across. And it winds up being 7 by 4 inches. Right here, I'm just measuring to find the middle part of my bag and marking it, because that's where I want my center of my pocket to sit. So yeah, it's 4 inches down, 7 across. So yeah, I lost a lot of footage of me measuring out the pocket. All I did is I measured 7 inches across the top and 8 inches down, because I'm gonna double it up and fold it and add some interfacing to it, just to make the pocket a little more stable, and it's just gonna make it less floppy. You could make it without the interfacing, but it definitely gives it a better look if you add interfacing to it. So this is what it looks like when it's all complete, and as you can see, you just fold it in half basically. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew up the sides, and I'm gonna leave a little gap at the front so that way I can flip it where the right side is out, which I'll go ahead and do that. I do that off camera. Alright, so I sewed it all up, and it's flipped to the right side. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a quick iron, because this is going to make it even better. I mean, I could just leave it like this, but why do that when you can take the extra step and make it look that much better? right here, I'm just gonna mark where I want my pocket to sit. I realized that I needed to put some pins so that way I can see it on the opposite side, because obviously the pocket's gonna sit on the right side and not on the wrong side. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just marking everything so that way I can get it aligned nicely. So I have everything aligned the way I like it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it to the sewing machine and just sew up the left, the bottom, and the right sides. But I'm gonna make sure that everything's gonna stay in place. So I'm gonna place pins and take it to the sewing machine, and I'll be back. Alright, pocket is complete. I got it all sewed on and it's looking really good. I really like the way it came out. Yeah, this is the first time, actually my first time, making an actual slip pocket like this. You'll see later on that I'm really proud of it. So I got everything all sewed up. I'm just removing all the pins, and I'm gonna trim up the sides because I found them to be a little too bulky, sorry. And the next step is to go ahead and put the lining into the bag. This is really, for me, it was kind of fiddly. I struggled a little bit getting it in there, but once I did, it fit like a glove. I mean, literally. So I wound up pinning everything to the bag itself, and you see that here. And it just makes it a little easier, so that way you can get an idea of any adjustments that you need to make on the lining itself. Wanted to make sure that the seam was right in the middle of where my handle or my strap is, and I just really took my time right here to make sure that it was right in the center, and I placed a pin right there to keep it in place, and I made sure that the other side was exactly the same as well. At this point, I decided that I wanted to go ahead and do a basting stitch, so that way it makes it a little easier whenever I run it through my sewing machine. It is definitely an extra step that you should take if you wound up doing this as well. A good thing about a basting stitch is that you don't have to use any technique or anything. It's just a big sloppy stitch just to hold your work together while you're sewing. For me, it's way easier than using pins, especially with crochet. And you don't have to worry about the pins basically, and once you're done sewing, you can just snip the stitches. That's why it's a good idea to use a different color thread than what you're gonna be using, so that way you can see it and just make your stitches pretty wide, and you'll see it in the video. It's going to be sped up, but I think you'll get the idea of what I'm doing. Alright, all finished going around with my basting stitch. I'm just going to put a little knot right here just to kind of hold it, and I'm going to leave a long tail so I can identify it. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and go ahead and just sew up the top edge. What I do is I use a different color, one for the bottom spool and one for the top. I used a gray for the top and a blue one for the bottom. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go do that, and I'll be right back. So yeah, here we are. I finished sewing up the top edge of the bag. I did run into a little problem with my sewing machine. It just kind of freaked out, but I had to, anyways, I fixed it. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through and cut the basting stitches out. Okay, at this point, this is where I'm going to be adding my clasp. And these are just sewn on magnetic purse clasps that I found on Amazon. Yeah, just that's all I did is I searched it and bought them a while back. All I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of my bag and add my clasp with some thread that's the same color as my lining. right, here's my bag completed. This is such an improvement from what I had originally made. I mean, it was just a crocheted bag with no lining and no pocket and no clasp. And like I said earlier in the video, I did originally make this bag to be sold in my Etsy shop, and I didn't do anything to it. I just left it as is, and this is so much of an improvement. I love it. I love the way it came out. The pocket can fit my phone. It is amazing. I did not intend that. It was just something that happened. Whether or not it'll hold other people's phone, I don't know, but it definitely holds mine, as you can see. But yeah, thanks for coming on this journey with me and sticking with me if you stuck with me in this video. Yeah, thank you so much. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be posting more crafting videos. I might post other things other than crafting, but mostly it's going to be crafting. And it might just be crochet. I'm not sure. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And y'all have a great day. Happy crafting. Y'all stay safe out there.